Hey there, folks. Today we are continuing our series of speaker interviews with Rowdy, who will be giving the talk Beats in the Browser, Coding Music with JavaScript at DevReach this October. So welcome, Rowdy. Thank you so much for coming on with me.
Thank you for having me. Hi.
So maybe to kind of start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your career journey and kind of how you got started in tech?
Sure. I didn't do any official, university or whatever for it. I just came along in 1996. I came along something called the internet. That started with us.
Just this
And
little thing wasn't,
just this little thing.
flash in the pan. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, that was interesting. And I started to look at, well, back then you could still look at people's source code in the browser.
Mhm.
Nowadays, it's just all kinds of JavaScript
Gobbledygook, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's the way I learned how to create websites, and I started to learn PHP as well, and a little bit of Perl.
Man.
And so gradually, I just fell into this thing called IT and programming. So from that point on, I started learning things like Pascal, Delphi, working with Java.
You've done a
And
lot. You
oh
dabbled in
yeah,
a lot of kind of different things.
I've been around for quite a few years now. And even so, I think it was 2016, 2017, we were creating our own app with NativeScript, which was from Progress back in the day, or Telerik/Progress.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm wearing this shirt still with pride. I even co-organized with Progress 2 conferences in the Netherlands
Nice.
for NativeScript developers. They were really fun. And nowadays, I'm working with Vue.js and Node.js, creating a portal for insurance people that have their pension insured with us, with Nationale-Nederlanden, the largest insurance company in the Netherlands. So
Gotcha.
I just do once in a while I'll change stuff, but still, internet is my main topic that I like.
It's fun because there's always something new, right? It's like,
oh yeah, it's fun, but it's also painful at some time.
yeah, that's
too
true.
much.
So specifically, I'm so interested in the music aspect of this. What kind of got you thinking about creating or coding with music in JavaScript?
Well, it all started back in the late 80s, 90s of the previous century. I used to be a club DJ back in the days, so I
That's so
love
fun.
music. Yeah, that was great. I love music, and just I don't know. Back in the days, we had cassette tapes there where we tried to mix things together and stuff like that. And gradually, I found out there is something called the Web Audio API, which allows you to generate music and stuff like that, or generate sounds. And for me, it's like, well, let's tinker a little bit with that, because I do a lot of serious stuff with JavaScript already. Let's do something fun instead of it.
Yes.
And well, gradually, it was first was, I would like to do that, and then you just go on and experience or experiment with stuff and find ways to do things even more easier and more fun to work with. So yeah, it's just like my interest in music from back in the days already.
Hey, just finding a new way to play and to express that.
Yeah. At the DevReach talk, I will go back to those days when a certain drum computer, created the music I liked back in the day, and try to reproduce that during DevReach.
That's going to be a blast.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yes. So you mentioned the audio API like super fast, but for those of us that have never dabbled with this and don't have any kind of familiarity with that, can you tell us a little bit about what the Web Audio API is and kind of how you use it?
Sure. The Web Audio API has been around quite a few years. I think when the whole HTML5 in 2011, 2012 came around, it was already possible to use it. You might even use it already, and you don't know it, because the audio player in the browser itself.
Oh, so just anytime you upload kind of a piece of music or something, or you're linking to a piece of music, that's using that same API?
Yeah, if you have a player on your HTML audio player on your website, or if it's used somewhere else, that's already the web audio API. It can
Oh, huh.
just play MP3s or whatever kind of music.
Mhm.
That's already a part. Another part where I looked into is generate tones and vary those with different sequences, different tone heights and stuff like that. And what I try to do is create from that one tone, create maybe a kick or a cymbal, so that
Mhm.
you can create something like a drum computer with it. So the web audio API gives you a lot of opportunities to do different things with it. And one of those is creating music. Well, more what I'm using now is creating beats.
Right.
So you could definitely do the I don't know the English word for it, but the high low to high notes and stuff like that. You can really
Mhm.
create those notes like you could do on a keyboard as well.
Oh, that's so cool. So you can just like layer those together to create a whole piece of music.
True, true.
That's
You have to figure things out and be very patient, but it's worthwhile, definitely.
that's really neat. So the other thing that I saw mentioned in here was the MIDI API,
Yeah.
which was interesting to me because I don't think I've heard the word MIDI since we were like putting ringtones on cell phones in like the early 2000s, you know?
Yeah.
And I imagine things have changed a lot since then, and that's probably not, I hope,
No,
or have they
no,
not? It's still pretty much it.
no, it's something totally different. Even
Okay.
remember, I even remember MIDI being at the late '90s, being played as a background music on websites with really
Oh, yeah.
horrible, horrible songs. So,
Yes.
but no, the web MIDI API is a way of communicating with things like keyboards and stuff. MIDI
Okay.
has been around for quite a few years, also for normal music instruments to be able to connect to each other and work together.
Huh.
So this way you can, for instance, use something like this, like just a
Nice.
keyboard with pads on it and knobs you can turn around and stuff.
Mhm.
You can connect this to the browser and interpret well, if I hit a key, for instance, I can interpret which key it is, if it's still being pressed or not, and how hard it's being pressed. And based
Really?
on
It's
that,
that sensitive that it
yes,
can. That's so cool.
I will demonstrate that as well. It's like I can annoy people really good with this one. But essentially, you just get, I explained it as well at DevReach, but you essentially get um, an array of 3 numbers
Mhm.
saying which note did you hit, is it on or off, and how hard did you hit the note.
That's neat.
And based on that, you can do anything you like with it. And another way, it's not only generating notes, but what you also can do is you can, for instance, hook WAV files or MP3 files
Mhm.
behind one of those pads, for instance. That's what I'm also doing in another demo. Is I can take real life drum sounds and just
Mhm.
hit on the tabs and just play music with it.
Okay, so like reprogramming almost what happens when you hit a key, or am
Yes,
I off? Yes.
correct. Yeah.
Nice. That's really fun. Do you have like a favorite piece of music that you've created this way, or is it more you just kind of like to experiment with it?
I'm just messing around with it, actually, more or less.
Sounds like you
What
need a Spotify page, man.
maybe sometime. No, but what I'm doing currently is that I have created say a drum computer in the website, so I can just say, well, um, if these pads are checked, if these boxes are checked, just play this
Mhm.
sound. And so I took some music from back in the day and found out what the drum patterns were for those songs,
Mhm.
and then and I can play them and then just mess around with them, just only the hi-hats or only the bass or whatever, and pump up the BPM, so the speed of it and stuff like that. There is also, by the way, the web audio API has a way of also recording stuff you
Okay.
do. I haven't
Nice.
implemented that, but I still have time until DevReach is there. So maybe I'm gonna use that as
Yeah,
well, just to record what I'm doing
that'd
and
be
keep that.
fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. So could you use that? I think now I'm just like thinking I'm off the like, could you use that to like create a loop and kind of like iterate over and be doing that kind of music in real time? So if it records it, you could loop it and be building on top of it.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But what I'm also already doing now with the drum computer, that is a sequencer essentially.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
it starts over after, I don't know, 16,
So it'll
say
already
16
do
beats.
that. You don't
It
have to
already,
do
yeah,
all of that in the browser necessarily.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So yeah, the thing there only is that you need to have a way to make it interesting. It's like 16 beats all the time. It's like, yeah, that's kind of boring if it's the same pattern. So yeah, that's just live tweaking and enabling and disabling stuff.
Nice.
Also, you can also do stuff like echo and things like that. But I still have plenty time for DevReach, so I'm trying
Yeah,
to do stuff like
we'll
that
leave
as
some
well.
mystery.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away your whole talk, but I am really intrigued.
Yeah, be there, I would say.
Yes, definitely. This is like really fun and really creative in a way that I don't feel like we see as much. And I really love that, right? I think we get really caught up in like how we are making something for work and we kind of get caught in that loop. But using the same technology to do something really different is so awesome. Do you have any advice for other developers who are maybe looking to incorporate more of that kind of creativity and play in their approach to coding?
Yeah, I would say just experiment. What I did was I worked at the insurance company, but I also have my own company. So I build websites a lot, and it's like at some point it became a little bit boring. Like I'm doing the same
Right.
during the daytime and nighttime and stuff like that. So for me, I just wanted to find a way to do different stuff. It's like you still learn a lot about for instance, the JavaScript language and how things work and how you can interact with certain browser APIs. So it's always good to just figure some things out, just try it, fail many times, because that's what I did as well.
Yes.
It's like by failing you learn, so that's good. For me also, I next to the music, I also made my own website to connect with what's it called, Strava, for when I'm biking. I get that data.
Oh,
I
nice.
make my own statistics and graphics and stuff like that, just to do something fun with it and learn in another way using the language.
Yeah. It's more fun to learn that way. I agree, right? Because otherwise you get
Sure.
caught in this like you're doing tutorials or it's like, oh, I have to do this thing for work and I'm kind of dreading it because I don't know how to do it. It feels big and intimidating. But when you're really motivated to like solve a problem for yourself or you're trying to, tinker with something and make it work.
Definitely. Yeah.
That feels like the part of coding that I first fell in love with. Right? Is this like this idea like we can put anything up here on the internet, we can build it. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, I've created some very horrible website back in the past in the late
all of
90s.
us.
But it's just fun.
But it felt so incredible then.
Well, we back then we had the power to create something, and we still have that. The only thing I think is that we've lost track of, say, the basics. Like we're more thinking about the developer experience than about the user experience, and that's one thing that I regret, because I think still it needs to be the best for the people that are using your product or your website, so that the whole developer experience is important. But I like to create stuff that people really want to use, and not like,
Yes.
who built this crap, you know?
Yes. Right, because that's at the end of the day what it's all about, right? It's building something that somebody can use, can find some fun or some joy or at the very least some productivity in, right? Like
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up with just a couple more. I'll stop grilling you on the coding stuff now. We have just a couple of fun questions. So if you were to choose a complete different career, walk away from technology, not sit at your desk 8 hours a day, what do you think you would do?
First of all, I have a sit and stand desk, so I can stand as well
So you've
during the day.
already, that's smart.
Yeah, I'm standing now, by the way.
I need
I
to get one
think,
of those.
yeah, it's definitely better for you. What I would like to do is be back in the music. When I started that career. No, it wasn't really a career. It was like for, I don't know, €100 for a full night or something. But it was still fun,
Yeah.
mixing music together and see people have fun with it. So I would have loved to otherwise go into that career. Maybe stand now for thousands of people in a stadium or something. Yeah,
Yes.
music still is something like, yeah, that's still in my heart, definitely.
That's awesome. All right. And last part, have you ever been to Bulgaria before? And what are you looking forward to most about joining us for DevReach?
To answer your first question, yes, I've been to DevReach 2017.
Nice.
That was just a few months after we first had, or was it 2008? No, it was 2017. Sorry, yeah, 2017. It's been too long already.
Say anything pre-pandemic feels like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
whole world ago. It doesn't count.
That's true. A whole different lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah. Back in the day, we just started with NativeScript, and I met a few people, and I just wanted to know more people from Telerik and Progress as well. So
Yeah.
I went as an attendee to DevReach. Had lots of fun. Didn't visit the town itself that much. So that's something I really look
When
forward
there's
to as
so
well.
much happening at the conference, it can be hard to break away. But
Definitely. Well, I'll be there longer now than I was back then. So I want to see something of the city, definitely, and hopefully meet some old friends there that I already met that still live there, and talk to a lot of people, see a lot of awesome talks, and definitely have fun with the people, but also with my own talk, and just fool around with technology, and hopefully have a fun session with the people that are there.
Absolutely. I'm sure that you will. It's like, yeah, I'm already hooked. I'll be there. So
All right. We already have one attendee. Good.
1% guaranteed. All right. In the meantime, if folks are interested in connecting with you online or seeing a little bit more of what you do before DevReach, where can folks find you?
I'm definitely when it's still if it's still alive, on Twitter with my with my own full my own full name, so Rowdy Rabouw. But also on my website, you can see a lot of talks I did in the past as well, and connect to me, and that's rowdy.coach. So and just to Google my name, I'm already too much on Google already, and just reach out if you want to know anything or have suggestions or whatever.
Awesome.
I'll definitely respond.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for these speaker interviews. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, then I will see you in just a couple months now, I guess, in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Looking forward to it already. See you there.
See you there. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.